Awesome. Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Cool, cool. All right, let's start off with an easy question. How long have you been streaming for? And then if you were on Twitch before, which I'm not sure the backstory here, how long have you been on Mixer?
Okay, I've been on, I've been streaming for about 4 years, I think. I was gonna go find out my start date and I totally forgot. But
That's okay.
I was on Twitch for about 2.5 years, and then I switched to Mixer about a year and 7 months ago.
Okay.
So I've been here for a bit, and I've been
Yeah, just a little
partnered
bit.
since September.
Okay, cool. So, not bad at math here for a second, just got off work. How long was that from when you started on Mixer to when you got partnered?
Let's see. I'm not sure, actually.
No, it's okay. That's all right.
I'm sorry. I should have had all this stuff like ready to
No,
go.
it's totally fine. Someone following along this can do the math here. So, let's just talk a little bit about yourself. What'd you do starting off streaming on Twitch, and then how was your experience switching over to Mixer?
Okay. So I started actually the minute I found Twitch. I was browsing around on my PlayStation 4, and I was like, "What's this?" So I'm watching this person stream, and I'm like, "Oh my God, is this live?" And I said hello in chat, and they said hi to me, and I'm like, mind blown. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, because I had never seen live streaming before,
Yeah.
and it blew my mind. I went out and bought a PS4 camera, and I started streaming probably like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So I went from there. I ended up getting an Xbox and streamed from that primarily for almost 2 years, roughly.
Okay.
So I was
Yeah.
straight from the Xbox streaming, no fancy layovers, no alerts. I had my
Yeah.
laptop sitting next to my computer that played sounds when people would like follow and stuff, so they could kind of hear it through my microphone.
That's kind of cool.
We
Never heard that
hit,
one before.
we hit, I think almost 11,000 followers, about 10,000 followers on Twitch.
Okay.
The time we were there,
Yeah.
and then we were playing mostly video games. I was playing any new free game that came out that month, and
Yeah.
we played a lot of community games, GTA, Minecraft. Trying to think what else we played, but yeah, anything like that, Call of Duty, any multiplayer
Yeah, yeah.
game, pretty much.
Were you into YouTube content at all before Twitch?
No.
Did you watch games? Okay, so it was your first experience with like gaming content on the internet that made you decide to do that.
Yes. Yeah, I've been a
That's
gamer
interesting.
forever, but yeah, I didn't realize that people watched people play video games. So when I found
Okay.
it, I was like, this is really neat.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. All right, sorry. So continuing on with you found the games you played on Twitch. What started to prompt you to switch over? It seemed like you were having some success on Twitch.
Right. Yeah, we were doing pretty well. I was hitting about 50 viewers every Minecraft Sunday, and we were doing pretty well. I did apply for a partner at one point on Twitch, but got turned down.
Okay.
I moved to Mixer right a couple months, probably before a month, I think, before the affiliate program came out.
Okay.
So I found Mixer because one of my Twitch friends was like, "Hey, come check me out on this site I'm trying out today." And I was like, "Okay, I'll come by." And it was going pretty well. I was like, "Okay, it looks a little different than Twitch, but like, what's cool about it?" So I went and watched another streamer, and my name was Sissy Panda at the time, and I go into the chat and I said hello, and they said hi Panda immediately. Like, it was instant. I'm like, whoa, wait, is he talking to me? Like, I looked in chat, I was like, there's another panda in here? I was like, no,
Yeah.
he's talking to me. And I was like, wow, this is insanely fast. So I had a conversation. I really wish I knew who the streamer was, because I don't think I followed
It's all
him.
right.
But I had a conversation. I'm like, wow, this is really a cool experience, being able to talk to them so quickly.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I got to check this out. So I do some research on it. It was Beam at the time.
Yeah.
And I decided to use Restream. Whatever. I used the Restream site for, I want to say, roughly a month. I was going to both. But
Okay.
when you do that, you don't have FTL on Mixer.
Oh, gotcha.
So-
Does it consolidate the chat? I've never used that
Yes,
service. But I'm not
they-
sure it works. Okay.
Actually have a little program you can download, and it can combine chats. And you can stream to Facebook, YouTube, like all the different sites at the same time.
Yeah.
So I did that for a bit, and I was like, this is cool. Mixer's been, pretty friendly. And I was, my Twitch chat was, they were kind of like, I don't really know how we feel about you being on two sites, or like, what is
Yeah, that
this
makes sense.
Beam?
I think
was like-
Twitch in general kind of feels that same way now at this point. But
Yeah. So at the time, it was like, why would you switch to a small site? And I was like, I'm gonna do one day where I'm just streaming a Mixer. I'm gonna use their FTL, and I'm gonna see how that day goes.
Yeah.
So some people are out, you won't see me there, but I have a really great community, and a lot of people showed up.
Yeah.
And at the time, there was a new and upcoming section that we showed up in.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of like partner streamers come rate us, staff came by, and I was like, this is pretty crazy. Like, people are being so friendly and offering help, and I don't have to be like, oh, these people are being sketchy. Why are they telling me to download this bot? But everybody was so friendly and really wanted to help, and I was like, this is more what I wanted from my community.
Okay.
So I just fell in love with it, and about a week later, I switched completely. I was like, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and move. We're going to do this. And I was excited about it being a small site, too. I liked that.
Yeah, so you say more of what you wanted from your community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, like, ask this without trying to offend old community members. But what are some things that were maybe off-putting about it on Twitch that you found changed once you move over to Mixer? And then, or if you don't want to be so negative about it, perhaps, what are some of the positive things that drew you into the new community? Like, do you know what specifically?
Yeah, there's this feeling, I'm not speaking for all of Twitch streamers or anything like that, but there's this feeling that I had that...
I can't hear you here, you're fine.
That you had to really get in tight with like these smaller, like these communities, like everyone on Mixer wants to help everybody. Like there's not as much like cliques. On Twitch it felt like there was a clique, and if you were in that, like almost like if I do a favor for you, you have to return the favor to me. It
the Godfather tactic of networking.
Yeah, it was it was almost uncomfortable to try to collaborate with other streamers. Yeah. It didn't feel as friendly. It felt like you know, hey, I'm not trying to use you or anything, but you want to, you know, maybe game together sometime, or, you know, it was harder to integrate communities there. And I had some great friends on there, and I still hit them up sometimes, but it was much smaller. On Mixer, I'm like, who do I watch today? There's so many amazing people, and it's totally different. There was a lot more drama with trolling on Twitch. We would get raided by 4chan. They would just fill the chat with just terrible, just awful stuff.
I can imagine.
So things like that. And there was just this like bad vibe there, and I can't really explain it. But when we moved, we wiped everything. I got, you know, I just redid everything. Everything got revamped, and we built. Is that when you
rebranded?
I rebranded when I got partnered. So I was...
Okay, we'll get to there then.
Yes,
Let's go back to the first part. All right, go ahead. I was asking, like, where you started on Mixer once you changed over with your new community. Yeah,
we just kind of, I just redid all my page and everything. We got new moderators. Because we had a different group of people that kind of came. So I had to, like, see what vibe we had going on with the new... You know, depending on who's in chat can kind of change the vibe of the chat. So we had a slightly different audience, very dedicated. A lot of people who came with me had been following for a long time. So it meant a lot that they stuck behind me no matter what side I was on. And then some of the people that came later on, they're like, okay, Beam's pretty cool. We'll come hang out. And it's been really great for everybody. The positivity. There's Seda. What's up, buddy? Seda's one of my friends from Twitch.
Nice.
So... what I really liked about Mixer was everyone was so welcoming and so ready to help you. You know, you didn't have to dig through hours of YouTube and Reddit posts and stuff to find how to run something. If I had a bot question, like, I had people, like, ready to, you know, help me out. And, everyone was just so happy and good vibes. So I just enjoyed it.
No, for sure. I've definitely picked up on that vibe. Do you think any of it is a part of Mixer being a smaller site? Or do you think there's something inherent to the way that it runs that makes it nicer than Twitch in a way?
Right. Well, I wasn't on Twitch when it was really small, so I'm thinking Twitch probably was a lot more, you know, like more like Beam was. But what I've discovered is that the co-founders and the staff start everything off being really friendly. Like, you know, it started small, and they've just continued to want to grow this positive, happy vibe. They've not really let toxicity come into their site, and when they take care of their, you know, their partnered streamers, the partnered streamers take care of the other streamers and the viewers, and it just keeps spreading and spreading, all of the good practices and the helpfulness. So I think we continue to try to do that. I see it on Twitter all the time, like, hey, thinking about switching to Mixer. I'm coming to Mixer, and all of the people on Mixer
Yeah.
are like, welcome, come on in, like, one of us, come, here to help.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
really
I'm
like
usually
that.
one of those.
So.
A lot of that might be my notifications.
They're good. They're great, and it makes it not so scary for people switching their communities, because it's very scary to switch sites.
For sure. How much of what percent of your community followed you over to Mixer, if you know?
I have no idea. I would say I had a decent amount. I would say it was maybe like 60% came.
Okay. That's still more than I would think, to be honest.
Yeah, I lost most of the people who really cared about the community to start with stayed. So
okay.
If I did lose people, they weren't really as involved as I guess they could have been to be noticed. Like, we built back pretty fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how'd you mentally prepare yourself for that switch? Because it's got to be really scary just jumping into this massive new pond without knowing what's going to happen or how you're going to be able to cope with it. What'd you do to prepare yourself for that big change?
I think I just tried to stay as positive with myself as possible. I figured if I made it, this is exciting for me to do, it would rub off on the other people and it would make it a better experience. But I was also to a point in streaming where I was almost just done with it. It was almost like a chore to get on my stream. I'm like, here we go again, I gotta stream, and all this drama that's going on, and it was like I was almost there to a point where I was like not wanting to dedicate as much time to it. I was working. Yeah. I'm a full-time streamer now, but at the time I was working 2 jobs, and it's kind of like, do I really have time for streaming? I didn't want to leave completely or anything, but it was
right.
I needed something to have a fresh start. So.
But you can't really leave temporarily and maintain your audience either, right?
That's hard to do, but I've done that too.
Okay.
I've had 3-4 months periods where I just stopped streaming completely.
Okay.
And was surprised that I still had people when I came back.
When was this? When's the last 3 to 4 month period that you stopped?
Let's see. I've been living here for 6 months. About 2 years ago, I think, was the last time I had a large break.
Okay. So do you think that maybe your current community is ever worried about that happening again, or do you think that you've done enough now to assure them that sort of thing's not going to happen?
I'm pretty sure I've showed them that I'm very dedicated to what we've built, and I wouldn't abandon this at all because I love it so much. So.
Good. Sorry, I just have to ask some questions like that that are maybe a little tougher, but that's okay.
You never know what life's gonna throw at you. So I know if something did happen and I took a month or 2 off, I think the people would come back and still support. It would probably be less, but I don't think they would forget. So
how much do you stay in contact with the community outside of Mixer itself?
As much as possible. I'm on my Discord a lot, even if I'm not commenting or anything. I'm always talking to someone. Yeah. I'm trying to get better at posting more social media, Twitter and Instagram stuff more regularly. But anytime anyone needs to talk to me, my messages are open, and I'm always there for people who need it. But I try to post and stuff on Discord, and at least try to keep up a little bit throughout the day when I'm not streaming.
Sorry, I just checked the chat.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, so at what point in time did you stop doing traditional video game streams? Because I'm assuming up till this point you still mostly stream video games, right?
I started being more of a variety streamer.
Well, variety streamer is different types.
Oh, yeah, a creative streamer.
I'm more talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the creative space. Just keep words connected.
Yeah. I feel like I've always kind of tried to throw stuff in. I'd say about 2 years ago after my break, I think is when I started trying to, because I had my computer finally. I was getting a second camera, so I started doing some minor arts and craft, making jewelry, making buttons, cooking streams, small things like that.
What'd you cook? What's your favorite recipe?
I have this stamp pot recipe that one of my viewers from the Netherlands sent me. It's like kale and mashed potatoes kind of mixed together and garlic. It's really good. I like to make that.
I was a lot more interested. You mentioned kale, but we'll let that slide. That's fine.
It's really good. But yeah, I like stuff like that. I like one pot easy meals. So I make a lot of stuff that I want my community to feel like they can try something new if they haven't. So if they haven't cooked before, I want to convey this is easy. You can do this at home. So I typically do that with most of the content I put out. I want people to pick up new hobbies and try stuff. So.
Gotcha. Do you try to cook with like a healthy appetite in mind, or do you like healthy appetite, healthy foods in mind? Yeah, healthy appetite's something else. Do you try to cook healthy foods, or is it just kind of all over the place?
I try to stick to healthy. We've been doing a lot of more low sodium meals because a lot of food has like really high sodium, and I've been cooking a lot of stuff without salt.
Okay.
And then I've wanted to get healthy too, so we've tried to fresh vegetables and
that's good. I am
not a lot of processed stuff.
I'm from the deep south. If there was ever a cooking stream I was on, it'd be like pecan pie and banana pudding and all sorts of terrible things for you, but great for the soul, according to SpongeBob. You also do different types of streams as well, like dog training streams and things like that. Let's talk a little bit, just briefly here, about your background in dog training, just for anybody else who may not know about this.
Okay. I've been into dogs since I was probably 13 or so. I started dog training my dogs at home. But I decided I wanted to be a dog groomer when I was about 17.
Okay.
I had never ended up being a dog groomer, but I job shadowed some people. And I ended up running a dog daycare for 2 years back in 2012.
Okay.
So I've loved dogs. I've done lots of research. I know a lot about breeds, and I've always wanted to do something with that. So I really like that streaming kind of gives me a place to do it.
Yeah, so I haven't actually been able to watch any of the dog training streams yet through the past. So what are the typical things that you do in the dog training streams? Like, what is this like, hey, here's this trick that I taught my dog? Or is it more like, hey, here are some things that you can do to your dogs to make them behave better or not run away, or things that I need to teach my dogs desperately?
We've been doing really basic dog training lately. I do educate people on how to start clicker training their dogs at home. My boyfriend has a band, and his bandmate just got a puppy recently, so we've been doing basic learn to sit, potty training, lay down, stay. So we're learning the basics, and I'm hoping as she grows with it and Ollie does, that we'll go into more advanced tricks and obedience as well.
Nice. Boyfriend gets a puppy. It's like, hey, new content stream. All right.
Right? Yeah. Wait, how can I turn this into a stream?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is probably my thought.
Yeah, so you're kind of all over the place with your variety and creative streams. What do you do to maintain the sense of unity in your community between all those things? Because I know a lot of people have a hard time even venturing outside of a single game that they play a whole lot. So I imagine it's a bit of a challenge to be completely different.
Yes. I think what I've done is not let anyone get used to a certain type of content. Every day they come in is something different. So if they don't like that, they don't stay. So I've done that to maintain the variety, because if you stream PUBG every day all the time, that's what people are expecting from you. That's what they've gotten a routine of, and I'm gonna watch so and so play this. And then when you step outside that, those people who are there to enjoy you and the game are like, this isn't normal. This is outside my, I don't really want to watch my favorite PUBG streamer cook dinner. It's just, it's your audience. But since I've built my audience on variety and things, we don't stick to the same game. We don't stick to the same, I might be dog training for a month, and the next month you don't see any dog training. They're used to the ups and downs and variety of the stream. And you asked about how I keep them feeling like a community.
Yeah, how you keep everybody with separate interests all together. But I think you did kind of cover that. So.
Right. I try to do things like I encourage them to post pictures of, we made deviled eggs recently on stream, and a couple of my viewers went and made deviled eggs afterwards, and they posted their pictures to Instagram and our Discord. And I think we all kind of celebrate each other's differences, and that's part of why my name is BeeYoo, because I want everyone to be themselves. And just because so-and-so doesn't want to participate in cooking streams doesn't mean he's not going to post a beautiful piece of art, and I think we like that. Well, just today, right before the interview, we were showing club clips from our Xbox club, where I show our community members achievements or bloopers from the week. We do that once a week so we can watch their gameplay, and I think that brings them together. We get to know what each other likes as far as gaming goes.
Yeah. No, that's a cool thing. All right, let's switch gears just a little bit.
Okay.
So you've been all over the place, lots of dogs things, lots of cooking things. What are it doesn't have to be the most, but what are some of the more like embarrassing moments that have happened on stream? Like what's something that you had to kind of fight through and laugh off? Maybe some really bad cooking thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, actually, really bad cooking thing. I've had a couple. I'm trying to be more teen now, but we've definitely done drinking streams in the past. And I've been really drunk.
Teen if it's in an opaque bottle, right? It's fine as long as you can't see what's inside.
Right, we're drinking, you know, sweet tea. But yeah, like I'm on 18 right now. But I've definitely had streams where maybe I got a little too drunk and went off on a rant of whatever kind, or I have a small clip of me arguing with my stove because I couldn't get it to stop beeping. Yeah, there's definitely been times where my mods are like, hey, BeeYoo, you need to shut the stream off. Hey, you shutting the stream off? They'll message me on like everything they can. They're like, you really need to turn it off. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, it was just fine.
Yeah, give my emergency phone number. Like, please, just send a bunch of alarms here.
I need they need an emergency turn off button that my mods can like vote on. Like,
sounds to me like I need to put you on one of my drinking Mario Party streams.
Oh, that sounds like fun. But that's probably my more embarrassing moments. Streaming, It's just getting a little out of hand. But they're fun. Right. I don't really regret them.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, like, how do you laugh them off? But it sounds like you do exactly that. Laugh them off and just move on.
I mean, you have to. It happens.
I guess it's just like everybody. Once you embarrass yourself that first time, it becomes a lot easier every other time, so not too much to worry about.
Yes.
All right. So in addition to all this, you do.
Sorry, Ollie's gonna join us. He's back there. Like,
no,
hey, you said I could
go for it. Please. Mine's been hanging out back here this whole time, just taking a nap. He doesn't know any good tricks. I'm lucky.
He looks like a sweetheart, though. He's like, I'm looking beautiful on the back of your stream. This is my talent.
Yep. Oh my, he sleeps and looks like an anime fox. It's very adorable.
He's so cute.
All right, should turn the dog around so I can see his face real quick.
Stop kicking me.
Perfect.
Here we go. This is why he doesn't stream in my lap, because he's like, love me.
Yep, I have one too, but that one's in my wife's lap at the moment. Where'd the name Ollie come from?
He was a very active puppy, always jumping up and off of things, and he just reminded me of a little skateboard kid, just always bouncing off the walls, so I named him after a skateboard move.
You don't just have dogs, right? There's a couple other pets that I can hear in the background. What else do you have?
I have a lot of pets. I have 2 birds, a parakeet, and a parrot. I also have 2 snakes, a Hog Island boa, and a western hognose. And then I have 9 crested geckos. Huh? No, they do not.
9? How big are the geckos?
They're not very big. They're about like that. They're pretty small.
I was picturing I guess I was picturing Komodo dragon or something. I don't know why, but I was thinking things of that size. But that is a ton.
Yes.
So here's where this all relates. You do ASMR streams, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When did you get into that?
I discovered ASMR back when I was still streaming on Twitch. I was watching somebody read really softly, and I was like, this is really nice. Just this quiet reading, none of this like hyped up notifications everywhere like craziness. Yeah. And she had descriptions in chat of what ASMR was. She wasn't doing any of the tapping or scratching or any of that. She was just softly reading. And I was like, what is it? ASMR? This is strange. And I do some research on it, and I watch some YouTube videos, and I'm like, that's what that feeling is. Because you can get it watching people draw. And I've always like enjoyed watching people draw, and I was like, can't really pinpoint that feeling. Yeah. And I was like, ASMR, that's what it is. And I don't feel so weird. It's like normal. And I don't know, one day I just decided that I was going to try it on stream because it seemed like people enjoy it. Yeah. And it went over so well that we do it a couple times a week. And people have seemed to really benefit from it. It helps people sleep or calm down after a rough day. And so it's been really cool.
Yeah. So what's the audience difference like for ASMR streams as compared to video game streams? Is it generally the same type of people, like the same people that come to both, or what's going on?
It's a little bit different. My people who are like really hardcore gaming they're usually a little bit, what is this? This is weird. Especially younger audience that have never seen it before. Or even older audience. It's a fairly new phenomenon or whatever, but so it just depends. I'm like, just try it, put your headphones on, see how it makes you feel. If you like it, great. If not, you don't have to stay here for ASMR. That's why I do it at the very end of my stream.
Gotcha.
So it's just it's it's hard to say like what percent. I usually have more viewers watching it, but I think they're more of my creative content, the people who enjoy that type of content.
Okay. So I don't get ASMR. Whatever it is doesn't work for me. Can you describe really quick like what the feeling is of ASMR that triggers it?
You know, if someone like maybe brushes your arm and you kind of get like a little bit of a chill or like a little bit of a tingle, it feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that, but it's sounds that seem to trigger it. So it's
There's
kind of like a
head
light,
scratch.
yeah, like a light head scratch. That feeling you get,
Okay.
it's a lot
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, cool. Just curious. How do you figure out what to talk about during ASMR streams or what to do for them?
I pretty much just talk to chat like I normally would. I
Okay.
try to focus it on clearing your mind and taking some deep breaths and keeping it kind of positive and light.
Hmm.
As far as sounds go, pretty much anything can be an item for ASMR, whether it's a pen, a glass bottle. We have a cardboard box we use. We have this mask. Just different textures, different metals, woods, fabrics. Everything makes a different sound, so anything is
Yeah.
fair game for ASMR.
Interesting. I never actually thought about sound textures, but that's a cool point. Yeah, your dog is being very adorable right now. Is it
I know.
is it a challenge having ASMR streams with so many pets? With what, 13 pets in the house that make different various noises as it goes on? How do you manage that?
Yeah, sometimes my birds can interfere with it for sure. They're typically fairly quiet, but usually I'll just feed them right before I do ASMR and they'll be occupied picking at seeds so that it won't make so much noise, but everything
Right.
else is fairly quiet.
Okay.
But yeah.
Is there a community of ASMR streamers? So I know that for different communities, there's like people that play Fortnite and people that play things, but yeah.
Not on Mixer yet.
Okay.
There's quite a few on Twitch now. When I was on Twitch, it was actually against TOS, so nobody
Okay.
did it. But
It's okay.
there's
Sleeping is technically against TOS on Mixer. I learned that the other day.
Oh,
By just
sleeping?
reading over the rules. Not
Oh, do
against
they-
terms of service, sorry, but when you're sleeping, it has to be 18 plus.
Oh, 18 plus, yes.
Yeah, that's real interesting. So I kind of cut you
That-
off there. I was so
No, that's okay.
confused by that one.
And that one, I don't think you're allowed to sleep on Twitch either. Or you didn't used to be. It may have changed.
Right. Man,
I know when I
I
moved.
want to know what caused that rule, but also I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. And you're not allowed to have anyone else sleeping with you if you do a sleep stream.
See, I get where that comes from at the very least.
My biggest concern with leaving a stream unattended is making sure you do have mods there, because if your chat's out of hand, I think it can come back on you a little bit. So you left it
Gotcha.
unattended, but
I should probably make sure some mods show up for these just in case in the future. Yeah, so do you have any like you don't have to get into specifics or anything. Do you have like sponsorship deals and people you work with like that? I think you're reading over your page, but I asked this last time, the answer was no, so I want to make sure.
Cougar sent us a bunch of gear. I have their headset, mouse, keyboard, mouse pad, headphone stand, everything like that. And we just work together. I promote their products. They sent me free products. So it's I don't like profit from that. It's not one of those sponsorships where you like get a % back or anything.
Right.
But it's just kind of a mutual, like, you helped me out, we'll promote you. And then Nectar also sent me a pair of glasses, and I like to promote them because they help save the bees when you buy their products. So those
Very
are
on
my
brand.
those are my two sponsors I have right now. I haven't really dug too much into sponsorship, because if I do promote it, I want to be really genuine about it, and I really want to be into their products.
So let's talk about that a little bit. How did that relationship form to start those? Because there's not a whole lot of information out there for streamers about how to get in contact with relationship managers and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
just want to talk about that a bit.
So with Cougar, me and another streamer, Pink Meatball, were at PAX South, and Cougar had a really nice booth set up, and I was just browsing through their products. I'm like, these are really nice for the price points. Like the RGB keyboard with cherry keys, $99, and I was like, this is really, really cool stuff. But I didn't really think much of it after that. But Pink Meatball went and talked to them and got in contact with the owner and worked out like sponsorship deals and stuff. And then they actually contacted me about working with them as well.
Okay.
So the best way to go after a sponsorship is to talk to the company. Usually there's a contact number to hit up. With Nectar, I met the owners of the sunglass company at a beer festival I was at. They had a table of their sunglasses, and they were just promoting their products. And I was like, have you guys ever worked with streamers before? And they're like, no, but that sounds really cool. Like, we're into, Instagram and all that. Like, tell us more about it. So I talked to them about what Mixer was and what I did, and emailed back and forth, and they sent me some glasses. And so reaching out to companies who have never done it before, you kind of have to just, kind of guide through it and talk to each other and figure out what works for both of you.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's also a situation where they'd be more likely to work with you if they're at least open to it at first.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe a more receptive situation like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned going to PAX South.
Yes.
How long ago did you start going to conventions and things like that?
I've been to TwitchCon, and I went there a year ago. It was over a year ago. I can't time. A year and a half ago.
When you were a Mixer streamer, though, have you been to TwitchCon as a Mixer streamer?
No, I did not. I went as a Twitch streamer, and then I've only gone to PAX South, so I haven't had a chance to go to very many conventions relating to our field. So PAX South is the only one I've been to, but I highly recommend doing that. Meeting other streamers in person, meeting the game developers in person, and having that eye-to-eye conversation is, I think, is very beneficial, and it helps you understand what you're doing a little bit better. Just seeing it in person, like here are the people I'm working with over the internet. Because when you're a streamer, you're always behind a screen. You're typing to someone. You may be in a voice chat, but it's a lot. It's cool to see it on a bigger scale. Yeah.
How many friends do you have that you don't actually know their real names? You just call them by their screen names. That was my experience at the first PAX I went to.
Right, all of them. Yeah, I don't know actually very many streamers by their real names, but it's fun though. It's always interesting when you're talking to people outside the streaming community, and you're like, oh yeah, I was talking to Woo Bear, and they're like, wait, what? And when I'm streaming in public, I'm like, hey Axeman, or like they're like, they have to be thinking, what?
Axeman, oh god.
Yeah. Like, who are these people she's talking to? They all have weird names.
Yeah, I tell people stories. I think I just make up names for them whenever I'm telling stories that I've learned on stream or from stream friends. But that's that's always a fun thing to try to deal with. So, all right, speaking of names here, you went through a rebrand somewhat recently. What was that process like, and how'd you decide to go through with it?
So that was a huge decision. That was lots of time contemplating, and so my original name was Sissy Panda. Mm-hmm. And the only reason it was Sissy Panda was because that was the Xbox name I picked out back when I was 15, and I was in a hurry to have a split second. I need a name, but just put it in. Didn't really matter, right? I didn't think I needed a name that, I was just gaming with my friends, whatever. Yeah. So I never really liked it. We made the best of it. I was used to being called Sissy Panda, so I was like, why not? Yeah. But the word sissy usually has like some negative feelings towards it. And then my community was called the Embarrassment. And a lot of people don't know that a group of pandas is an embarrassment. So we would have a lot of people be like, why do you call your viewers that? That's not nice.
I can see that.
I also wanted something that people would want to wear on their merchandise, like on their shirts. I want my brand to be something people like. That they would, a Sissy Panda. Do you really want your shirt saying that? Now, some of my viewers are like, yeah, of course, I liked it. But, other people.
Throwback merch.
I want people to be able to wear it out in person,
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I was like, I really need a new brand. I was like, I really want a new me. It took me about 2 years to come up with this one. I waited a long time to do it because I wanted something perfect. If you're going to change your name, you don't want to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. So everybody gets one. Yeah.
I had a 3-hour car ride, and I'm like, I'm going to come up with a name on this ride. I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm just brainstorming. I was like, I want something that represents my community and myself. And I was like, be yourself. Like, I was going through it, and I was like, BeeYoo. I was like, oh wait, that's kind of cool. And I was like, oh, I could spell it like this. And then I was like, oh, it could be bee themed. And then it just went from there. I was like, my mods could be beekeepers, my subs could be soldier bees. I was like, this whole hive, it's a creature that works together with other, they work closely with all of their other bees to make the hive work. You can't be a bee on your own. I mean, if you're that kind of bee. But most bees work in hives and communities. I was like, that is such a, like, oh, I love it. I was like, this is it. And then 3 months from there.
So the word beautiful wasn't a part of it?
No.
It was okay. Not. Done. So triple entendre pun there. But yeah, sorry, go on. 3 months later?
3 months later is when I finally revealed to my community that we were switching, and I did it the day they dropped my sub button. I had told nobody at all, except for like 2 people that I was working with for my overlays and stuff. And I kept it a secret from everyone for 3 months. Yeah. It was killing me. And then the day I got my sub button, I talked to my partner manager, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm rebranding. I'm going to make it look like my stream is broken when you drop the button. So what I did, I'm Sissy Panda. I stop my stream. I start my stream. I stop my stream. I get all my overlays switched and my panels switched. And I got the stream running again. And then my sub button appeared right then. So we had this insane, like, whoa, her name's changed. What is these bees? And oh my God, there's the sub button. Hit the sub button. And it was just like this crazy, chaotic. Like my chat was freaking out because they thought that my stream dropped during our sub button release. Yeah. So they're like, no, it's broken. Why would this happen?
That's a really cool idea. That's a cool reveal. I need to go like hunt that down on YouTube later at some point.
So it was fun. It was fun kind of trolling well, not really trolling, but kind of playing a little joke on the chat when we did it. But
yeah. So what were some of the names that didn't quite make the cut? Do you remember?
I probably have a whole list on my phone. I was just thinking of different animals and different. Yeah, I can't really remember what the other ones were. That one was just like, that's it. It's pretty much the other ones are like, nope, 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 there. So gotcha. I can't quite remember the other ones. But.
Okay. So how important is a schedule to your streaming? Switching up a little bit. I know, actually, before we get to that, well, okay, let's talk about that, and then I want to talk about your experience as a full-time streamer.
Okay.
First, let's hit the schedule one.
I, for whatever reason, can't keep a schedule for anything. So I actually didn't have a schedule until recently.
Okay.
A couple months ago, we started having a schedule, and I try to do it weekly, and currently in the last 2 weeks, I've not had one. Okay. So it's always just kind of been surprise. I'm here. Yeah. I think schedules are very important. I'm just when I have to feel like I have to be there, it makes me not want to because I have to. I don't really know. It's just something in my own head.
Guess you don't want streaming to turn into a chore as opposed to a fun activity.
Right. Yeah. It's like if I feel good right now and I'm ready to start, like I'm gonna start then. I'd rather start in a good mood than like, oh, I gotta hurry up and like get done with this. And,
but then sometimes you do have bad days, right? So like, what do you do to try to power through those bad days and still stream?
Ever since moving to Mixer, I don't feel like I have bad days. I mean, of course we have low number days, but I think I don't really look at it very much.
Okay.
Now, bad days as far as, like, not getting tips and that kind of thing, like, the stream always goes well, but sometimes after the stream is when I'm like, all right, I've got to figure out what I need to do to, like, increase maybe some revenue, because you can't stream full-time unless you can pay your bills, so it's like, you think in the back of your mind, like, I should probably go get a part-time job, or, like, are we going to make it this month? And everything always works out. But that's the only thing that I really, like, dislike. I can have a stream with, like, 10 people, and as long as people are enjoying and chit-chatting, there's always people talking in my chat. They are very, very great conversationalist. So I don't usually notice if... when I have the smaller streams, I feel like I get more one-on-one time to really get to know the people that are there. And I like that. It has its own little perk to it. But.
Yeah, that's a good silver lining to it. All right, so we're back however long ago until you started streaming full-time. You're about to quit your job to stream full-time. What is the mentality there? How could you possibly convince yourself that, like, hey, this thing's pretty cool, but I'm just going to dive all into it head first? I guess maybe you have some safety net or something. But what was the feeling like leading up to that, and how'd you end up making that decision?
Well, I was serving at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And
that can make it a lot easier.
Yeah. If you guys have worked as a server, you know how stressful it is. So anything seems better than, people yelling at you because they're food came out wrong because they didn't tell you they didn't want pickles, you know? So I was actually moving at the time, and I just kind of just quit that job, and I didn't really think of it as like I'm quitting my job to be a full-time streamer. It never really crossed my mind. I was just like, I just didn't get a job after I moved.
Okay.
The streaming was going really well at the time, and it's still going really well, but at the time it was like I'm making almost just as much as I would at this terrible serving job I had, and I have a very low, like my rent's not crazy. I live in the South. Like groceries aren't expensive. Gas isn't. If you stream, you don't really need to buy gas. So I didn't need a whole lot. You know, if you live in Chicago or like New York, or you know, somewhere in Seattle, like if you live in Seattle, your rent's going to be insanely high. Like making that much money to support a full-time stream if you live in a higher income area is going to be really hard. But since I don't, I feel like it makes it a lot easier to commit full-time. Okay.
So what you're saying though is there wasn't a process of you planning to stream full-time. You just kind of happened into it.
Yeah.
How
kind of went with the flow there.
How did your family take that?
I've always just kind of been their hippie daughter, and they know that I'm just always just like do whatever I want, kind of like this seems like a good idea. I'm just gonna try it. So they didn't really even think about it. They're like, oh, well, we believe in you. You go for it. They don't really watch my streams, but they don't. They like to listen to me talk about it after, you know, when I'm on the phone. Like, yeah, stream's going well. And oh, that's cool. They don't know much about it since they don't watch, but they support me and what I like to do.
Your family sounds great. If I ever decided to be a full-time streamer, I think I'd get a call from my dad that night before I'd even told anybody. I heard you were thinking about quitting your job. Don't you dare do it. That's really interesting. So what does your family think you do? Do they understand what you do with your streams, or are they just kind of like, oh, she just does, you know, this internet thing and it's all magic and make-believe?
They know I play video games, and they've seen like some of my dog training, and I don't know. I don't really know what they think. I think they've watched me enough to like realize what I'm doing, but they don't get in my business. They kind of stay out of what I'm doing. They give me a lot of space. Okay.
Yeah, so I word it that way because 95% of the time people answer just like, "Oh, my family has no clue what I do." So that's actually really interesting that you they just like that. So I'm going to bring up something that I learned from another interview I did that talked about your dating life as a streamer and trying to find people whenever streaming is your only job. I don't know, so I guess I should ask, how long have you been with your boyfriend? Like, was that a thing that you ever had to encounter?
Yes. Okay, so my current boyfriend I've been with for 2 years, but I'm going to talk about my ex-boyfriend who was with me while streaming.
Okay, yeah.
My first boyfriend that I had when I was streaming, I was doing it part-time, but I tried to do full-time for just a little bit. And he wasn't into it. He didn't really support me or watch my streams. You know, I'd be like, oh, guess what I did today? And he'd be like, all right, cool. Like, he wasn't involved in it. He just didn't have interest in streaming. He didn't, you know, he doesn't watch streamers. It just wasn't interesting.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it wasn't. But it was like, I couldn't really just, like, talk to him really about it. And he, you know, he was like, you need to go get another job. And so it wasn't, like, super supportive, but he wasn't like, you got to stop streaming. He was like okay with it, but not involved. Right. And then when I met my new boyfriend, it was actually in the very first or like second conversation I had with him. I was like, well, I'm a live streamer on a website, and I didn't normally tell people that right off the bat. I usually just kind of kept that like, you know, I'm a server. Hey, like I bartended here. But he was a musician. I met him playing gigs, and he's a great musician. So I felt like we had something kind of in common. I entertain people on the internet through video games and communication. And
I was gonna say, I hope you mentioned that you're a video game live streamer on the internet.
Yes.
And not just I'm a live streamer on the internet. Yeah.
So I talked to him about what I did, and since he went after his dream of quitting your 9-to-5 job that he had into being a musician, and a lot of people will ask musicians like, so what else do you do? Like, what's your full-time thing? Well, this is my full-time thing. So we had that in common, that we entertain people and we make money based on, I guess, how we work and things like that. So we had that ground there, and he's been super supportive since. as far as like living with someone that streams and stuff. He streams now. They do gigs on Mixer once a week. It's Prettier Than Matt.
I think I've seen some of your music stuff before. Is that related to your boyfriend at all?
Yeah, he bought me a ukulele, and I've just been learning to play it. And I do it on stream. I'm not the best ukulele player or singer, but I like to show people the progress that you can make if you try every day and you work at it. But yeah, he watches my stream, and he knows who I'm talking about when I like, hey, Captain Rick said so and so like today, and he's like, oh yeah, Captain Rick's cool. It's nice having that conversation. Because as a streamer, sometimes you feel closed off because you can't let that all out because your friends don't get it. Like,
yeah, for sure. So let's... Yeah, go on.
Oh, having someone in your ring is nice.
Yeah, so I was going to dive into the friendships aspect of it. Do your friends ever kind of give you funny looks whenever you say you're a streamer, or kind of say like, oh, this is Bee, she doesn't actually have a real job, or anything like that? Or do they generally understand it?
They pretty much understand it. I've got some people who give me a hard time. They'll introduce me to like new people, and they'll be like, "She's a live streamer. She takes her clothes off for a living." Like, I'll get harassed, even though it's not true. They're like, "No, we're just kidding. She plays video games." It's weird because my boyfriend will tell people like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend's a live streamer," and I'm like, "Why are you telling people?" Like, I don't want anyone to know. But I've learned to accept that more. As this is what I do. I was like, "Do you have a kid that plays Fortnite?" He's probably watching me on Mixer. So, yeah, my friends they've supported me. I've got a couple friends that'll come in the chat and they'll say hi. And
yeah, no, that's interesting. So, how did you decide when to tell them that you were a streamer? Is it something that you brought up? Okay, let's say now. Is it something that you bring up in the first conversation with people, or is it like?
Now I'm very like. I'm okay with it. This is what I do.
Yeah. What changed to make you okay with it?
Probably my boyfriend, since he's so public that I can't really just hide what I do.
Yeah.
And then I live stream his gigs, so people come up like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you live streaming to?" Back in the day, though, I didn't tell anyone I streamed. My friends didn't know. My family didn't know. I wanted it to be my own little escape, I guess. Because I'm really personal on my stream. I'll tell you like stories that I probably haven't told one of my friends. You know, how my day went, who I got frustrated with, and it was kind of just like my own little bubble of these people don't know me. I can kind of just be myself here and be silly. Yeah. Like I'll put masks on and have puppet shows and just be ridiculous. I don't want my coworkers to see that because I'm a lot more outgoing on stream than I am in person. So yeah, I wanted to keep that to myself.
Do you think streaming has maybe helped you discover more of your own personality that you weren't aware of before?
I would say yeah, for sure. I like being able to express myself to others where I'm not as likely to do that in person. So it's letting me open up more and exploring different parts of my...
Yeah. Do you think any of that has carried over to in-person interaction since? I know it hasn't for me, so it's okay to say no.
Not really. When I went to PAX, I was like this nervous wreck until people started coming up and telling me they watched my streams and stuff, and then I was like, oh, I was a wreck. And then I had a pod. I got to stream from the Mixer booth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I got to go in the booth, and it's so nice. It's all soundproofed, and put the headset on and started my stream, and I was like, I'm BeeYoo. I'm here because I am BeeYoo, and my community was there to like, hey, you're doing good, keep going. And it turned my whole experience at PAX around because the first days when I got to do that, I was like, I know why I'm here, and I feel better about myself now. Because nice. It was sometimes you have a detachment from who you are, like, you know, going to the grocery store and maybe to work, than who you are on the internet. It's the same person, it's just a slightly maybe more enhanced side of you, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's not quite a Bruce Wayne to Batman, though maybe it sometimes feels like that at my job.
Right. What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm a software developer.
Oh, okay. So probably more serious and stuff when you go into work.
Yeah, just a little bit for a bank too. So it's like I see everybody with their dyed hair and things like that. Or anyway, so I do nothing exactly. All right. So by the way, how are you on time? Are we doing okay? We're like about an hour. So
no, I'm not in a hurry. So whenever.
Okay, cool. So lately on Twitch, there's been, I'm sure you've seen this if you're on Twitter, some drama about someone who recently revealed they have a husband. Do you find the fact that you do have a boyfriend and that you're very public about it on stream, do you find that limits your audience in any way?
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know. I did not see this drama. That's how, I mean, they hid it for a while then, right?
Yeah. And it's we're just gonna slide this into conversations about creepers in general and how you deal with that. But yeah, basically someone who is a certain type of draw as a creative streamer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll call it like that. Not hid necessarily, but was not very public about the fact that she had a husband, and one of her
Mm-hmm.
mods found out about it and was very, very upset because of the weird relationships that they form with streamers. So have you ever had to deal with any like creepy viewers like that tried to take a perceived connection too far? Because I know whenever you spend hours of your life interacting with somebody on chat and then talking to them on stream, you do form a relationship. So I totally get how you can feel like maybe there's more there than isn't. So have you ever had that happen, and what's your experience with that?
Yeah, I've had similar situations with that. I've always been pretty. I don't like. I bring up Jeff a lot. Back when I streamed on Twitch, I didn't really like talk about my boyfriend a whole lot. But I wasn't leading anyone to believe that we had some sort of special connection, or I wasn't like flirting with certain people to maybe get what I wanted.
Oh, and I'm not.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just trying to like. So I only had a couple people that maybe took the relationship further than what maybe there's so many different people on the internet. You're gonna get people who are infatuated with you, or develop a crush, and because you do give them individual attention, they can definitely take it wrong. You just have to like be aware of maybe some signs where you can tell them like, oh, take a step back. Hey, we're just friends. Like this isn't, you know.
What are some of those signs?
I guess them talking to you a lot. Maybe if they're sending you lots of presents, where they'll message you a lot. Like you'll get a lot of messages from them, and I guess you just have to just kind of just pay attention to what they're saying to you and stuff. Yeah,
that's got to be an interesting mental moral line to deal with, since your career is based on people like giving you money because you're a good streamer, like donating and subscribing and things like that. So it's I don't want to ask because it doesn't sound like you have a problem with this, but how do you maintain that balance of I want to be close to you, but then when people go the wrong way, to like politely shut them down and say this isn't what this is about? And then have you found that those people stick around after you say that, or do they generally just kind of fuck off afterward?
Yeah, people that I've had to like kind of push back usually end up backing off. Okay. And those of you in chat are like, well, I talk to you a lot. You've never crossed those lines of like, oh, this guy's a little creepy. He's pushing me a little too much. Like,
I'm assuming if they had, they'd know, right?
Yeah, I want your hey, send me your phone number so we can text sometime. That kind of thing, I'll definitely whoa, we haven't, there's got to be a healthy relationship between the streamer and the viewer. You can't cross those lines. Or, I got off track. I forget what I was trying to answer.
No, we pretty much covered it. What is the, if you don't mind sharing, weirdest request that you've had from one of these creepers?
Somebody wanted me to stream video of my feet. And he offered me like a nice chunk of money. I was like, no, it's not. No, thank you. But he was really polite about it, though. He was like, not to be disrespectful to you, but would you be interested in providing this content? Like, super. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm good, thank you. And he's like, no worries. I just thought I'd ask. And I was like, well, at least he's being polite to people he's asking and not I was like, if he's going to get any results, it's going to be being nice like that to the streamers.
Giving a good name to foot people everywhere, I suppose.
But yeah, that's probably been one of the weirdest ones.
That's funny. I learn about all sorts of weird things that I don't experience really as a guy streamer. The most I get is getting hit on by like 50-year-olds. So let's change it up a little bit more here. What would you say is your like proudest streaming accomplishment? Which I always feel like comes across as a job interview question, but it's still a very interesting question. Now, what are some of your weaknesses? Name a time that you worked in a team and a time you failed. Now, so what are some things that you're proudest of as streaming that you can look back on and be like, that was fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to pull that off.
I guess there's a couple. I guess just rebranding, because that was a scary moment and it worked. I'm very proud of the community that we've built. Seeing people that come into my chat like take care of each other, even new viewers that come in, I'm very happy with that. I think that makes me enjoy this so much more. I'm always encouraging them to hit each other up and game with each other and build something more of a bond with each other in chat, because it makes it more fun when you come into the stream. It's not just me and the viewer, it's the viewers together and saying hello to each other and then interacting with me. And it's just, it's a family. It's a place for us to all come and get away from things and have caring people that, surround you. So
yeah. So after 4 years, there's still like a dopamine hit whenever a new person comes by, you make a new friend.
Yeah, I still love that. And
that's cool.
Yeah. As far as accomplishments go, I think that's probably my favorite.
Right. So what do you do for subscribers? Like, what are some things that you do to have benefits for subs or things like that?
I don't actually do a whole lot. I try to have maybe like a sub day here and there. We have our emotes. But how I feel about the subs, I feel like just going live and gaming and providing them the best content I can provide, they're giving back to the stream for that. I don't want to make the subs like up on a pedestal, because not everybody can sub. So I don't want to have any sort of divide between our regulars and our subscribers. I think the people who do want to donate extra and to support, obviously can't stream without support. So I think I just kind of, just leave it.
Interesting.
Pretty simple.
No, that's cool though. I find that a lot of times sometimes streamers get a little too focused on gimmicks and things like that, and they can start to take over the rest of the content of the stream. So that's a good way to look at that. I'm
also not organized enough to keep up with lots of things. Like, all right, everybody's getting a postcard this. As much as I'd love to do all this stuff, like I don't have time to like get everyone's email and organize everyone, and like when people unsub, do you take their perks away, and it's a lot more work. So the streamers who do all of that it blows my mind. I'm like, I can barely put my show on.
So it's partially from laziness. That's okay.
A little bit. I want to show you this though. We did do a month where we took everyone's name and we put them on sticky notes as they subscribed, and we made a sticky note art piece on our wall. So I thought that was kind of. That was kind of like a fun little thing, so I can look at the wall and see all of their beautiful names, and
that's really cool. I have nowhere near that artistic talent.
So we did that. So little things like that. Sometimes we'll paint bumblebees on our face, or little things like that for people who subscribe. But
that's okay. That's neat. So who were some of you talked a little bit about this way at the beginning, but who are some of your streaming inspirations? People that you look to and watch and say, I like the way they do this, I want to incorporate this. Or maybe someone that like took you under their wing or something as you started streaming or went into Mixer.
When I started streaming, I would definitely have to say Retro Gaijin on Twitch. He is an amazing entertainer. He's from Ohio, but he lives in Japan, and his theme is all like this Japanese, American living in Japan kind of theme, and he's just so engaging and funny, and his stream is simple enough, but there's enough going on that he just entertained me. I could watch him all the time. Axeman says Kitty Plays. I did like Kitty Plays because her stream just looked so professional, and she was usually, when I watched her, just promoting like positive vibes and loving yourself and that kind of thing. When I first started out streaming, I didn't watch a lot of other bigger streamers, and I probably should have to maybe mold my content a little bit more, but I usually watch smaller streamers just because I like to support and build with people that were around my size, especially on Twitch, because it's, like I said, you're kind of in brackets almost, it feels like, so I just kind of find people similar to my content and hey, you want to hang out? And then recently, Pink Meatball on Mixer, he keeps me inspired and keeps me going on my stream. He's a great streamer, always trying something new and pushing the limits. So he's always there to help me when I need help with bots or overlays or anything like that. He's really good at tech support and just being there to listen to you when you need to talk. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what sort of inspirations you pull from these people, but I think you described them well enough to where I can just kind of intuit that one on my own here. So don't put anybody specific on blast, but what are some recent trends or things that you've seen in streaming communities, either Mixer or Twitch, that you maybe don't agree with? Or if not don't agree with, wouldn't really work on your channel?
Streaming trends. Well, for a little while there, it seemed like everybody felt the need to play Fortnite or the big game. I mean,
Say
just gonna
say
call
for
out
a little
Fortnite.
while. I think that's still going.
I think it might start to change a little bit based
Okay.
on Mixer's new partnership requirements, where
Yeah.
you need 2,000 followers, but your viewer count isn't as crucial because the old one was, you have to hold 50 concurrent viewers for 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. So that almost locks you into your content. You got to stream the same thing every day and be consistent and, schedule. Everything needs to be very, like, to hold that many people. That's a lot. So I think now
Yeah.
that, I can hit 2,000 followers by doing art every day. And, just because I don't have 50 viewers, but I have a consistent 30 that are always there, maybe Mixer will consider me because I'm putting on a great show. And if Mixer is trying to promote, a variety of content on their site, I think that new requirement will help people move away from that at least a little bit. But
Okay.
I have nothing against Fortnite streamers. I think
Yeah.
it's a great game, and if the community's there, the viewers are there. Why not stream there if you enjoy it? So
Yeah.
I like that. Hopefully, Mixer seems to try to make ways for a variety of content, not just one type of content.
Yeah, for sure. So then you do think the new partnership changes are positive? Just
Yeah, I
talk
think
about
they
those for
are.
a second.
I definitely do.
So I want to know your opinion on this. Whenever I learned about the new partnership requirements, they did triple the follower number, which is I guess something that like people with more than 2,000 followers may not have even noticed or cared about. But
Yeah.
some of the smaller streamers got kind of upset about that, and I can see where they're coming from.
Yes.
I personally was worried that it would lead to a rise in follow for follow practices and things like that.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
or giveaways or that sort of thing. So do you think that that's a problem, or have you not really noticed that too much in the mixed community anyway, and you think that wouldn't really be a thing?
I personally don't think it's a problem because here's the deal. You want to be a partner on Mixer. You want to represent the site. To be a partner, you have to be a good streamer. If you're not a good streamer, you're not going to be getting... there's small streamers that are great that just, for whatever reason, but to be a partner, they want you to pull numbers and they want you to have a strong community.
Yeah.
If you can't get to 2,000 followers without the help of partnership, are you really providing the right kind of content? Are you doing the best you can to keep people coming back and to follow when they do come into your stream? I think you need to be a good streamer before you become a partner. So I don't really think 2,000 is really that much. I know to small streamers starting out, I know that seemed like a lot when I started out. But once you do it and you get comfortable doing it, that really isn't that big of a number. The follow for follow, that's not going to make you a good streamer. That's not going to provide people who are going to keep coming back to your stream and supporting you. You can't stream without support. So I think you really need to think about what you want in the long run and to build it strong from the base up. And then when you get to that point and you apply after 2,000, Mixer will look at your content and be like, their profile looks nice, their overlays are cohesive, their community is positive and friendly, and their viewer numbers are where they need to be. And they will, ultimately make the choice if they think you represent their site properly.
Right. Okay. So I notice a lot of people that start streaming tend to do so. Even a lot of people that are well into streaming with like 1,000 followers or so, well into it and don't really have a plan for what they want the channel to be. They just kind of turn on a camera and then whatever happens, happens. Did that ever describe you at any point in your streaming career? And what was it like when you decided to sit down and make a plan?
Yeah, definitely early on. Especially when I was just streaming from an Xbox. You can't really express your channel through a little tiny webcam people can barely see and your game. That's all you get. So really discovering who you are as a streamer, I think, takes lots of time. You just want to improve what you do every day, and I think you can grow into what you're meant to be, I guess. You just have to work on it day by day. Sitting down and making a list of, all right, here's where I want to be at. Here's how I get there. If I work on these little things each day, we'll eventually get there. I know a lot of people. You were talking about people around 1,000. Yeah. When you start getting numbers and you start getting the support, you want to improve your graphics and you want to make sure your profile makes sense and make sure you're promoting your social media properly on Twitter and Instagram. Everything can constantly be improved. I know my stream's not perfect by like a mile, but it's just an everyday. I don't think it doesn't matter how big you are. You're always going to have to be learning to step it up. always.
Right. Okay. So, at what point should somebody start to think about graphics?
Well, with Streamlabs, they already have pre-built overlays. So if you're not using Streamlabs or Lightstream, you know, building your brand, I guess, as soon as possible is probably good. If you can't afford it, though, you want to wait until your stream. Yeah. You want to wait until your stream is bringing enough income to cover it. Okay. It's not as important when you're as small. So.
Do you mind sharing how much you spent on your overlay stuff?
If
you don't want to say it, you don't have to.
No, I probably only spent $30 because I do most everything by myself.
It's like even this graphic playing behind you and stuff?
Yeah. Well, I paid a little bit more for that, but that's...
Yeah. But... Jeez,
what's your squad logo? If you can do it yourself, great. And then the person who did my profile section, he did it for free, and I tipped him pretty well. So I did pay more on that. So under $100 is what I've spent. Now, if you're looking, you know, if you really want to go in, I want all my, you know, all my overlays done like professionally in my profile section and alerts, and you know, you can get up into hundreds of dollars. And the people you spend a little bit more on are probably really good at their craft. Just look at what they've done and see if it fits your style. It's always worth it to support, especially if you can support other live streamers who make overlays and things, or other artists. It's very important. So.
That's cool. So do you have, I guess you do have a merch store, right? Do you come up with the designs for that yourself?
Yes. I recently got my merch store up about less than a month ago.
Okay.
And
how difficult would it be to pull that up right now? To pull up some of your stuff on stream?
Let's see. I think I can pull up the t-shirt design.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
You don't just have walls of t-shirts laying around and you can pick one off of?
No, not yet. See, this is where these are things where I could improve on. I need to have this stuff like ready to go.
I feel like I'd always be wearing my own stuff everywhere once I get to a point where I'm making my own brand.
Right. I actually haven't ordered one for myself.
I was gonna say, is it like wearing your own band T-shirt when you're on the thing, or is it...
I would think so a little bit. But I mean, if you just got new merch and you wear it on stream, they'll be like, "Oh, she's got T-shirts out. Like, he's got T-shirts out. Grab them."
Yeah. I like that graphic.
So this is one of my T-shirts in the merch room, and merch room's actually ran by streamers, so it's a small company. Yeah. And then I also started a store on Streamlabs, and it is so easy to use. I know I keep pushing Streamlabs. I'm not getting paid by them, I promise. But they make everything so easy for streamers. They're putting out great tools. So this one's the Keep Calm and BeeYoo shirt that we put out on Streamlabs. And I designed Busby here myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I have Photoshop, so I pretty much just play with stuff until it looks reasonable, and and then.
Did you name Busby?
I did, yeah. It feels pretty common bee name, Busby.
Yeah, I didn't have to ask about that one. That one just kind of worked.
I didn't want to think too hard about it.
Yeah, my dog's Machiavelli, and people just think I'm an asshole whenever I bring up his full name. I'm like, you're not wrong, really, if I'm being honest.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's cool. Let's see here. I think that is just about all that I had planned to talk about. Here's one. What hobbies do you have outside of streaming? And I guess that doesn't apply as much to you. So you do seem to work all of your hobbies into your stream, but maybe there's something else that you don't.
I like to go to breweries and try new beers, and yeah, I pretty much work everything I do into streaming. Streaming's like my canvas that I throw everything at, and I like to express myself that way. So there's really not a lot that I do outside. I would like to travel more, but then again, you're a live streamer. You're going to share it on Instagram, and my life is pretty much in front of people all the time.
How much do you think about... Does the thought, will this work as content? Will this work into my stream? Does that come up whenever you're thinking about things that you want to do or places you want to go? Like, is that always lingering in the back of your head?
Always.
For decisions you make?
Ever since I started streaming, everything is related to streaming. If I'm at the Dollar Tree, I'm like, oh, this is a cute little hat. Could I use this on stream? Do I need a dry erase board? Do I want, like, can it be used on the stream? Can I? I don't know if I feel like I'm exploiting my life for live streaming, but it's... everything I do, I'm like, that's a good stream. And I'm also bad about telling other people that they need to be streamers. Like, oh, you do this cool art, or you're into music. Have you ever thought about putting it on the internet live?
I feel like that's not bad for I don't. It's just excitement about what you do, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't succeed if you weren't as excited about what you do as you are, and that
Right.
definitely comes across through this interview. But okay, so do you ever worry that maybe you have given away too much about yourself, or that you overshare, or anything like that, or that maybe something will come back to bite you after talking on stream and just having to fill this time for hours?
Yeah, it's anything that you slip up on, you worry about. You're like, oh, I said that today. That sounds stupid. Are they gonna, someone gonna hold that against me? Am I gonna upset a viewer because of a certain way I maybe feel? I try not to share anything that would divide my viewers and myself. Politics, religion. I try to keep that outside.
Yeah.
I don't want that. This isn't the place for it. You can do that all over Facebook. I want this to be a kind of a safe, clean place to hang out. And then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it most of the time.
Okay.
There's occasionally like a night where I'm just like, yeah, man, everything's out there.
I'm a habitual way oversharer, so it's kind of hard for me to not overshare various things about my life. But I just assume it's all there on the internet for anybody that would want to find it anyway. So,
right.
So at this point, have you ever had anybody like in public that you saw come up and be like, "Hey, you're the streamer that I watch"? Has that moment ever happened?
Only at PAX, and I was just telling
Okay.
my boyfriend the other day, I was like, it would be really cool if I was just out, maybe at one of your gigs, and someone came up that knew me. I want that like natural moment of like, I've seen you on the internet before.
Mm-hmm.
I've only at PAX I had a lot of people, and then plus we have our shirts and our names on them and stuff, and so other than that, it'd be really cool in person for sure.
What is that feeling like? If you can remember just the very first time someone recognized you, what was your reaction in that moment?
It was at TwitchCon, and I had a guy be like, "You're Sissy Panda." It was the only person that probably knew who I was there. That was it was an overwhelming kind of like a flush of, I don't know, it's like excitement and oh, that's so cool. Like he knows who I am. But it's a great feeling, and it was really cool at PAX, like hearing from people who I didn't realize even watched my stream be like, I love your animal segments. Everyone had a different segment though. They're like, I really enjoy when you do face painting. They all had kind of their favorite segment of what I did, and it was kind of neat seeing that, and it made me feel not so. Again, you do feel alone a lot, I feel like, as a streamer sometimes. And it's like, oh, okay, Mixer like does care, because a lot of people lurk, so you don't know that, like, oh, I didn't know so and so watched me. That's like, what?
Yeah.
So
I found cons are actually very good for inspiration and energy. Like I feel like every time I've left a con, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go get to some streaming. This is great. That's just a fun benefit to it. All right, so I'll wrap up here in a little bit. Last couple of questions. First one, this is more personal, just something I want to know. How baller do you feel in your partner jacket whenever you're wearing that around a convention? What is that feeling like?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's it feels really good, but it also, like, I represent Mixer. I need to be, as friendly, and you have a little bit more of a pressure to be professional.
So it's like a spotlight on you for everything that you do, and knowing that if you mess up or get too drunk, as if that would ever happen.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at PAX. Yeah. But yeah, it's you do feel a little bit of a pressure to, you want to be friendly and welcoming to anybody who might want to come talk to you too. And I don't feel like we really feel like we're better than everyone else or anything like that. I just feel like it does feel good though. I get to go in the partner lounge. I got a free T-shirt. Like, the perks are cool.
There's a very small feeling. It's like, yeah, no, I earned this. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you have to realize that you did earn it. Mixer saw something in you, and you did earn it. So I think you can enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah. Do you ever have to deal with Imposter Syndrome? If you know what that is.
Imposter Syndrome? Do I feel like I'm being someone? I'm not?
So Imposter Syndrome is the feeling that you didn't. It's feeling like everybody gets in hobbies that maybe you're not qualified to be where you are, or just that little voice inside your head that says, I don't deserve this. Have you ever had to deal with that, or you just pretty much power on through it?
I personally, I mean, you can probably ask my boyfriend. He'll tell you that I've probably like brought up like, yeah, she feels that way. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm not giving enough or streaming enough. you do get that feeling like, am I giving my community enough back? And I feel like I earned my partnership, and I feel like I do a good job. But I have talked to streamers who don't feel like they deserve it, and I get really sad for those people. I'm like, you're special. You have something unique about you. You know, you have people that come watch you. Why do you feel like you shouldn't be here? Because you do deserve it. I think when you get it, you know, Mixer saw something in you, and if you're feeling like you're being an imposter, work harder to meet your standard of yourself. You know, be the best you that you can be, and that's all you can do. So.
On brand.
All about being yourself, and you know, and if you're not enjoying it and you're down on yourself all the time, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's too. It doesn't make you happy. Don't force yourself to stay in it just because you got partnered, or, you know.
Yeah.
I for sure. So
I just keep coming up with more questions I want to ask. How are you ever able to take time off to do anything as a full-time streamer? Like, how do you decide? You don't? When's the last time you took a vacation?
I think when I went to Colorado was our last like extended period of time. Normally I'm not gone more than 3 days, but I do have one coming up. I'm going to be gone for possibly up to 10 days at the end of the month. So I'm kind of like, all right, how do I work with mobile streaming now? You can work in little streams.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're gonna try to stream from your vacation.
I will. Yeah, I'll have at least like a couple nights where I'm just like, hey guys, we're at, I don't know, a bar, or I'm at my hotel, or whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah.
What's going on? I want to check in with everyone, and I stay in touch. You guys can hit me up. I try to stay off my social media a little bit more. When I go on vacation, I really should be like, okay, no stream thing for like 3 days at least. I really should do that just to kind of wipe everything and then start fresh. I really do need to do that. I think that's important to take days off from streaming, because you do need to make sure you connect back to yourself. Like, all right, are we still good? Am I still happy? You know, and just clear it out, especially if you're dealing with maybe a lot of drama or stress from whatever reason. There's lots of reasons to get stressed out while streaming.
Yeah. Are you still okay on time, by the way? Or do you need
we're gonna go play mini battlegrounds for the rest of the night. So.
All right. So, is it weird streaming in public? You talked about how if you're at a bar or something, you can stream. What was that like at first, and how do you mentally get over that gap? I guess I'm a very socially anxious person. You may not know it based on these streams, but at least in real life I am. So what's something you do to get over that?
You just have to kind of push through it, and it's also a way to hide behind the camera. Sometimes when you're streaming, people won't bother you. I have not done a lot of like, hey guys, I'm like so-and-so. I don't do that as much because I'm still really shy about that. I usually have like a tripod. I'm like, hey, we're watching live music, and I'll kind of like, hey guys, I'm like in the microphone, like, I see you, but I won't talk to them as.
This is the guy we're watching here.
I'm not as likely to talk to chat as much.
Okay.
During those experiences, but I would like to try to be a little bit more, you know, live IRL. Like, hey guys, we're here at this the zoo. I should probably go to the zoo and try to be outgoing around other people while streaming, but. I mean, everyone's
visit the Bee exhibit.
Yeah, exactly. For sure, can't miss the Bee exhibit. But I mean, I'm not a person.
Brand, though. Watch out. They might try to get with you. Sorry,
I do.
That's a really bad joke.
But I was gonna say, I'm not a person that takes selfies in public either. I'm really like insecure about that, so I don't even post a lot of like, hey, I'm here, because I'm awkward about it. But you see people do it all the time, and they're Snapchatting all the time. I shouldn't feel like I'm different than any of them.
No, that's an interesting comparison. I would have thought that people are already basically live streaming in public, depending on who you're hanging out with. It's just with their meals and stuff. I would just think that everybody's looking at me the whole time, so it would definitely take me a moment to build up to that point. But that's cool. So you do a lot of, or at least some IRL streams and things like that. I guess it's not what they're called here on Mixer, but we can just read right past that, just slip up. What are some ways that you would like to expand that content going forward? Like, actually, here, I'll word it like this. What's your dream stream? You have unlimited budget, time to plan it. You can do whatever you want. What is your, like, this is my Moby Dick. This is your dream of streaming?
If it was possible, I would want to go back to India and live stream from India.
Okay.
Skydiving stream captain. I'd like to do skydiving. I don't know how well phones and live streams work from falling out of the sky, but
probably about as well as they work in India.
Probably. I think I could make it work in India. It would cost a lot of money in internet because I've been there already, and you get these little USB things that plug into your computer to give you Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But live streaming takes a lot of data, so it would just be really expensive. So.
Yeah. What is it about India that make you want to go back there?
It's so different than anything that you're used to here in America. Even if it wasn't India, I'd want to go to like another like country that's completely different. You learn a lot about people. Things are done completely different there. I mean, everything is. You got little rickshaws driving around. You've got these open markets of food, and the weddings are massive, and people wear different clothing, and they have different culture. And I think sharing that through a live stream experience would be really cool for people who maybe can't travel and go to these different places, or they're scared to, and just kind of show.
I don't know that I've ever really watched a travel-based streamer before. I've seen like YouTube series and things like that.
I would love to do like a travel blog and live stream experience.
What would you do to integrate elements that make it unique to a live stream?
Maybe like if I'm like, hey guys, there's camel rides over here, like the chat could interact with like what you order on your food, when you go like, what restaurant are we going to tonight, and should we check out this show, or should we go horseback riding on the beach, or like we got options of going to a temple or going on a safari, and letting the chat kind of maybe help guide you through what kind of experience you end up having while you're there.
Okay. I'd watch that. That'd be really cool. I hope you're able to get to that point someday.
One day.
Yeah. All right. So close to wrapping up, I'll ask the question that I ask most people. If you've watched my interviews before, you know this is coming. You are an impartial third party. Rate your own channel on a scale of 1 to 10. And then what would you do to improve it going forward, and some things that you could do to like boost your own rating for yourself?
Okay. I would say I'm on the smaller end of streaming. We usually average about 30 viewers. So I would give us probably like a 6. Like I'm impactful enough, but not quite what they could have. I would improve how I promote my sponsors, how much I post on my Instagram and Twitter. I think if like a third party, like people, like this isn't just people who would be interested in sponsoring. Is this like from viewers' standpoint too, or? Yeah,
just a hypothetical person watching your stream.
Oh, okay, yeah. Someone else watching the stream. I'm very. It's okay. I would, 7, 8 maybe. For that, I feel like I'm a little unorganized. I don't have a schedule. I am a weird variety. Some of my stuff turns people off from the stream. Like, oh, she does ASMR. Like, that's weird. So yeah, I don't think I could definitely improve a lot. I need to improve on lots of different areas, but I feel like I'm friendly, and we have a great community that they can come into and be a part of if they choose to.
Yeah. Do you have any specific plans that you are looking to implement in the next couple months to a year or so? The changes you'd like to make?
I would really just like to get my OBS and alerts and all of that just a little bit. I want to be more organized. I want my schedule to work. Improvements here and there, just little ones. I'm trying to work on my profile section a little bit better and that kind of thing. So.
Okay, great. I think that's gonna just about do it here then. Let's see. I usually like to try to mix in some sort of funny question or thing like that. I'll just go back to this old one. You come across a giraffe. Your friend comes up to you and says, "Hey, I have this. I stole it from the government. I need you to hide this for me." What do you do to hide this giraffe? What's your plan for it?
How do I hide a giraffe?
How do you hide a giraffe?
Oh, man. Well, I couldn't build a barn because I couldn't afford to do that. So let's see. Where would I hide a giraffe? I would get a lot of leaves and sticks and glue them together and disguise my giraffe as a giant tree. And hope nobody notices it in my front yard.
Yeah, no, it's just like a Fortnite bush. You just gotta kind of place yourself strategically.
It's a tree.
All right, that is cool. This interview has been fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
Definitely
much.
let you go now. This went way longer than I expected it to. I just looked out of the time.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Anyway, yeah, I had fun. Is there anything that you would like to plug here before we turn off?
Like, no. Guys, follow your dreams. You know, just because your family doesn't support you streaming, if you love it, try it. I don't know.
I like that. It's a very positive message. Your plug for advertising is just, no, guys, just achieve your full potential.
Yeah. Go.
Really wholesome.
Follow your heart. Guys, if you guys aren't following Trouble Chuck and you enjoyed this interview, be sure you give him a follow. This was so much fun. Thank you so very much for inviting me on your show today.
Oh, sure. So I'm gonna hold you to this Mario Party drinking game stream. Definitely gonna get you in contact about that someday.
I have it. Hit me up.
Nice. So what my plan is, actually, I'll just explain this real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
interview is over. Anybody waiting for this interview? And I'm just talking. So my plan is to get 4 people and each have them be represented by a character in Mario Party. So we're basically going to watch a stream play itself, and you are this NPC. So you're now cheering for like Mario and Mario Party to win a round, and there are like dares and things and drinks that people have to do whenever their character loses around.
Yes.
And then like chat can play along and bet on the guys too, and the winner can win something cool. It'll be fun. It was a good time.
That sounds like so much fun. Yeah, I'm definitely down. Come hang out.
What are some strange or interesting streams that you would like to implement?
Strange streams.
Interview's back on for one more question.
Oh God. Well, I've always joked about doing a sleep stream from my bathtub. I've got my bathtub full of stuffed animals right now, so it's even weirder. Okay. So yeah, I want to like get my dog and like cuddle up in a bathtub full of stuffed animals and live stream it just to be weird, just to be really weird.
How many dogs is too many dogs? How many dogs do you want to own ideally?
2 dogs is enough. I think 3 dogs is too many dogs.
but 12 geckos is fine.
Yes. 12 geckos is enough geckos also. But yeah, dogs need a lot of attention and love where the geckos don't really need your interaction. So yeah, having that many dogs to maintain and feed and keep happy, that's a lot. So running a daycare, I've taken care of like 20 at a time. 2 is enough.
All right. Now I just thought of one more. Okay, actually gonna stop this time, but
just one more.
Yeah, right. What is one thing that people don't know about taking care of their own dogs? Like something that people do wrong when raising the dogs, or something they may not realize is not a good thing.
A lot of things. I think everyone should do a lot of research on training and dog behavior before they ever adopt a dog. People make so many mistakes. A lot of people don't train their dog to even sit or lay down or continue their education. So not training your dog is probably the biggest one. Dogs enjoy that communication. You get to understand each other better. I think it's so important, even if it's just small tricks like shake and lay down, and it keeps their brain active. I think it's really important for them to have a job. Okay. So
that's cool. All right. I'll let you go here. Thank you very much again for this. This is awesome. Everybody go train your dogs.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Train your dogs and be yourself.
Yes.